did you want any timer?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Picture this. You're walking down Lumpkin on your way to downtown Athens, ready to grab some Transnet pizza with the family. You've got a skip in your step, the dog's won, and it's a gorgeous day. You step on the broad and stop dead in your tracks. Poof. There goes that perfect image. Why? Trash. Everywhere. Now, although this may not be the exact scenario that you experienced, you guys get the gist. The garbage situation in Athens is out of control. Garbage disposal facilities are far too lenient in their pickup and disposal of trash, effectively destroying the classic city. Now, we all live in or near Athens, so we're all affected, but what we may not know is just how much. I've lived many places in my life, from Georgia to Texas, New York to Zurich to back to Georgia. Of all these places, Athens is by far the one with the worst garbage situation. As an individual who has lived in various environments around the world and has experienced the effect of the quality of the environment on the people and animals that live in a specific location, I can honestly say cleaning up after yourself is not that difficult. Now, I'm accusing the Athens garbage facilities of destroying the classic city by way of inconveniently placed garbage cans and by increasing global warming and climate change. To begin, let's look at the facts. Directly stated by Athens-Clarke County Unified Government public webpage, approximately 300 tons of material are disposed in the landfill per day as of January 2006. According to an article posted to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution by the website Our Green Atlanta, 40% of that garbage is composed of recyclable material. 40%. Considering that those statistics only account for the trash that actually makes it to the landfill and not for the trash that's still on the streets, I shudder to think how much more than 300 tons there actually is. So let's talk about the effects. Poorly selected locations of garbage cans leads to abundant trash buildup in the streets, which is actually hazardous to people and animals. The few garbage cans that are somewhat conveniently placed in Athens, ever notice how they're never empty? Makes you wonder what those garbage companies are doing if they're not picking up trash. And the other garbage cans that aren't conveniently placed, well, they're completely ignored for their intended purpose. The trash cans themselves are small and inconveniently placed to all, except apparently criminals. Directly stated by an incident report from 2003 posted by the Athens Banner and Herald, an Athens man was attacked with a plastic trash can and robbed of his wallet. Now, some of you may laugh at the ridiculousness of that title, but I strongly believe that if that trash can had been more conveniently placed, it would have been more filled with garbage and therefore harder to wield as a weapon. Now, people and animals run the risk of injury due to the amount of garbage on the streets. My brother was telling me how he was walking downtown one day and saw a woman fall. Now, rather than just get a few scrapes, a bruise, mild embarrassment, she actually cut open her hand on a broken bottle that was surprisingly, actually not so surprisingly, on the sidewalk instead of in a waste receptacle. According to wildlife rehabilitator Renate Schneider in an article posted May 5, 2010, a raccoon with its paws stuck in beer cans due to the amount of trash on the streets had to be euthanized in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Considering Athens garbage overflows with beer cans and beer bottles, particularly on game days, it's only a matter of time before our wildlife fall victim to the same fate. Now that we've talked about the physical hazards, let's talk about the environmental impact. So, trash buildup leads to an increase in global warming and climate change. Now, don't get me wrong, Athens does have garbage facilities that take care of the trash. By take care, I mean in a way that's totally unacceptable. Referring back to the 300 tons of garbage that's deposited in the landfill each day, that's an insane amount of garbage just sitting there. And by the way, according to the University of Birmingham and by Envirus Consulting Ltd, in an extensive study conducted on the impact of waste emissions in 2004, emissions of greenhouse gases arising from landfills have the most significant reported environmental effect. Oh, and don't forget, as some of you may know, the more greenhouse gases emitted, the bigger the increase in global warming. Doesn't that make you feel great? Now, if you're not yet convinced that these companies are at fault, I have one final argument to sway you, and sway you I shall. I know some of you want to argue that there's a big difference in waste reduction due to awareness that's on campus and in general in towns. But are you so sure? Because directly according to researcher John Tierney of the New York Times, while it's true that the recycling message has reached more people than ever, when it comes to the bottom line, both economically and environmentally, not much has changed at all. It's still typically more expensive for municipalities to recycle household waste than to send it to a landfill. So basically all those banners and promotions that you see that encourage you to recycle and keep Athens beautiful, they're like rain on a windshield to the disposal companies. They just wipe them away. So let's recap what we've learned. The poor locations of garbage cans leads to an abundant amount of garbage buildup on the streets, endangering both humans and animals. The environment as a whole suffers from the sloppy collection of garbage and from the greenhouse gases that are emitted when the trash goes to the landfill. There are reasons why people actively promote recycling and campaigns to clean up the streets. It's because it's necessary in order to keep our environment from becoming toxic. Taking responsibility for wrongdoing is the first key step towards finding a solution. And believe you me, Athens garbage facilities have done wrong. Now, I personally don't believe that we as Athens citizens are living a classy life anymore. Instead, we're living the trashy one.